Hello and good day. This is Michael Campbell, VP for Quality Solutions and Consulting for Velox Health Metadata. Today, I'm pleased to announce the release of our software version 1.31, which is an interim release we're making available to users of the Velox Payer Enablement Platform to get started on their preliminary rate review with their HEDIS compliance auditor. So without further ado, let's get started. So you see, I have in front of me an example of a completed rate checker from MY22 to MY24 preliminary, which is the current stage that we're in. This is a completed review, so we'll go through from the beginning of upload from the MY22 to preliminary 24 to show an example of how to fully load all of your data for the current state of rate review. We have 4 plans loaded right now. Let's start from scratch and we'll upload a 5th set of data for a 5th plan called Joyeux Health Plan. The versions that we have available are initial, preliminary, and final. Any of the prior years, MY22 and 23, must use the final version. So we select final and we upload the 22 file up into the Payer Enablement Platform, showing it's uploaded. 23, keeping it as a final version. You'll notice that these versions will stay sticky, so it'll follow whatever the last version of upload is that you provided. For MY24, we're able to accommodate an initial version, which is an early start on the rate review. It uses less data than the preliminary and final, so it has less measures and stratifications available, but it's able to give you an early view, say in January or February or early March, into the status of your rate review. So now we're at the stage of where we are now with preliminary. This is the default button settings. So you would have that if you're already uploaded your data from the prior iterations, you can simply just go directly and upload preliminary version for MY24. Okay, fully loaded now. If for Joyeux Health Plan, we return then to Rate Checker, and we can see there it is, Joyeux Health Plan. We select that version or that plan, and you see here we have the default settings enabled, measure rates, EP prevalence ratio, and stratifications. If you're going to begin your rate review for your auditor, you would want to focus in on your outliers, and you can probably turn off your stratifications and just focus on the totals to have a smaller set of data to review. And then the next step is that you would sort this outlier filter as an ascending order. And this is showing then that any of the rate changes or EP prevalence that exceed these thresholds we have set here, like 5 percentage points, and this exceeds that clearly, then that's showing up as an outlier. You'll see here as well that we have the final 22, final 23, and then the initial version, which I mentioned earlier, has less data than the other versions because it's a file that is less populated with rates. But then we can compare then within the year, we can see the changes that are occurring within the initial MY24 to preliminary by tracking this delta indicator. You can see there's a 2.62 percentage point difference between the two. It actually dropped from the initial down to preliminary. And then when we're looking at the changes from year to year, we focus on the grade column. So outlier filter here and this preliminary here is showing that there's a 5.05 percentage point difference between MY23 and the preliminary version we have here. Okay, your auditor will likely then focus in on the measures that are outliers. They'll use and enable or turn off these review flags. I'm, as a rate reviewer or a health plan user like yourselves, I'm not able to change these flags, but you can anticipate what your auditor will be asking about by checking again the outliers and going ahead and say, for example, preemptively completing comments for any of those that you anticipate they would be making comments or ask you to make comments about. Okay, so we're very pleased to announce this release and just in time to get an early start in your preliminary rate review. We have a new software version 1.5 coming out very soon with a number of different features to support our premium platform users on their return on investment planning for the migration to FHIR and CQL enabled digital quality measurement. Thanks so much.